Okay. Have you ever doodled on your on the side of your notebook during some kind of boring lecture or a phone call or maybe a meeting, corporate meeting? Not so interesting, no? Did you?
Yes.
Did you wonder what it makes for your brain? Well, it appears that the brain remembers more and better this way. Canadian researchers proved that if we are doodling, and by doodling I mean we are drawing some really easy icons, shapes and so on, our brain is able to remember even up to 30% more information while listening unconsciously. Try to imagine what will happen if we will do it intentionally. I draw the words. I explain difficult ideas in a more approachable visual way. And I will show you how I do it, okay? Will you draw with me? So grab your pencils and papers. Okay, I'm waiting. And let's think about some kind of a difficult word like facilitation, love, anger. Would you like to draw anger with me? Okay, ready? So, we start with a letter L. We'll be just using letters, okay? So, we start with letter L. And the second one, but reverse, okay? You've got it? And here's go 2 dots in the middle. And guys, these are eyes. Come on, letter V, like VIP. And a peanut below. Is it an anger?
Yes.
Of course not. It's a doodle. But in your brain, those few lines just gain some meaning. Would you like to draw something more? Okay, so think about a symbol for a total recall, okay? For a really good memory. And let's say it's not your wife, not your mother-in-law, nor your 5-year-old kids who you promised to buy something and you didn't 1 year ago. They do remember. So let's think about an animal which remembers for a long time. Which one would be that?
Wife.
Elephant? Elephant. Wife. Okay. Let's stick with an elephant this time, okay? So we start with letter U, but upside down, okay? It can narrows a bit down the bottom, okay? Then we put a letter D here. And is it a happy one? Yeah, it will be a happy one. So let's give him a trunk, I mean a nose, like this one. And it will be definitely a romantic type. So I will close his eyes like that and put 2 letter L's, one normal way and one in a mirroring, right? Here, for a legs. And that could be actually a symbol for an information worth remembering, right? And maybe something more. What animal is known of being wise? Oh, so let's draw an O. We start with a letter U again, but normal way this time. And we put 2 big circles in the middle. Eyes again. Okay? We put a little triangle over here and maybe 2 triangles over here. Let's make her hair a bit messy. It was a really rough day, trust me. And is she rather shy or open-minded? Shy. Okay, if she's shy, then I will make her wings like this. Open-minded? Come on, we are TEDx, right? So, let's make her wings like that. And a wave over here. But you know, it's important to do it like this, not like that. It's not a bat, okay? So let's take this line for a walk. And the legs here. So now you know how to create an icons for sketchnoting, for making special visual notes, because sketchnoting is about combining easy icons, really simple icons, and keywords. So maybe something more? One more thing, right? Would you like to know how to draw a person? A human being. it will be also really, really easy. So now let's draw a circle. If you would like to have a really nice circle, just make some circles in the air and then put a pen to the paper. So we start with a head, and then we draw a rectangle which narrows a bit down the bottom. You've got it? Okay, let's split in half. Do you think he's more into science or human subjects? Science, okay, so let's give him an infinity symbol as a legs. Do you like drawing hands? No. I personally hate it. So I will draw 4 triangles here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we've got a person who has, what emotion is he feeling right now? Is he experiencing? Happiness. Here's a happy one. Maybe something else. Exhausted. Okay, so again, letter L, letter V, and a really rough night. Okay. Okay, so he's a really exhausted businessman. Sorry? With hands. Okay, this thing. Perfect. So that's it. That's the way you are just creating easy icons and symbols. And here's a challenge for you guys. Would you dare to draw a little bit more lines and to make a sketch note from my talk? Just try it, okay? Yeah. So another question for you guys. Was it your first time to draw like that? Well, my first time was on TEDx too, you know. First, I was drawing at home, watching streamings. Then I was performing during conferences, and every time I did it, one thing strikes me a lot. Because when I was working with all those business, innovation, motivational guru like Gary Vee, you know the guy, no legs, no hands, no legs, no limits, right? Or Brian Tracy or Gary Vee, they always see a huge value in what I did. And then I thought there must be something more than just colorful sketches, right? And I decided to take a look, but from psychological point of view. Well, that's the fact. I'm not an artist, I'm a psychologist. But I will try not to bore you with scientific facts and figures. Not now, at least, okay? So, first of all, I will tell you what our brains love, what makes our brain happier, and why is it worth to use sketchnoting method, okay? So first, clarity and simplicity. Did you really thought that it's all about the colors and the beautiful sketches during making notes? It's not. Actually, it's more about a simple way of putting things. And what would you rather read? A 40 pages of financial report or maybe a 3 pages of cartoon with the same information provided? Yeah, so this is an example of sketchnoting. I mean, here is like 2 hours of speech, drawing live, and the speech was performed by accountant. And look, it may actually be interesting. During the breaks, people were approaching those sketch notes and they were looking for some legal issues. They were engaging, they were discussing. It was really joyful for them and they remember much more from this conference. So it's about simple and interesting way of putting things. Our brain loves to play with connotations. When I was graphic recording brainstorm of a really creative group, we've got a task. We've got 2 hours, and we had to deliver 2 flip charts full of ideas for the new client's campaign. It was launching product or something like that. And since the participants saw that their minds were, that their thoughts were written down and putting on the flip charts, their brains were on fire. I told you, they were shooting with ideas. There was one idea, another, and they get so creative. They were getting so engaged that I was stunned because the quality of their ideas were actually good. So, of course, we finished in 2 hours. But instead of 2 flip charts full of ideas, we deliver 10 of them. And finally, we've got one happy client who has got his campaign for the next 2 years ready. Okay, our brain also loves to analyze and decide. Have you recently struggled with a problem? Who of you has? You know, when I've got a problem, I'm trying to put it in the center, or a question, problem or a question, and I'm thinking about all the things which are connected with it. So if I'm thinking about running a new business, I'm thinking about partners, about costs, about all the stuff which is connected with my problem, which I have to solve it. And I'm not afraid of using icons, because sometimes even problem solving can be fun. What else? I also trying to use keywords instead of sentences. Sorry, teachers, but it's not about grammar. It's more about the essence, the capture, the most important information. So instead of focusing on a grammar, then just take the first thought you've got. But also there's one more interesting thing. It's really matters which color do you use. You know, the average, normally we remember around 10%, it's the average number of the information that we listen or that we read. But there is one color which helps us to remember more. What do you think? Which one is that? Yellow, red? You're really close. Orange, yeah, exactly. You know, a few years ago here in Łódź, in University of Łódź, there was an experiment run by psychologists who proved that if we use orange color, we are able to even recall 82% more than we were supposed to before. So it can look like that, for instance. What's more, are you still with me? Yeah, okay. So our brain also loves riddles, to play games or unfinished loops. So a few years ago, I was also graphic recording, and you know, graphic recording is drawing live when the speaker is talking. Ula is doing graphic recording right now. You're so brave. So I was graphic recording a conference in Kiev. So the language of the conference was Ukrainian. But it was also translated in English. I had to translate it into Polish to understand it, and then again to draw in English. Are you following? Yeah. So the funny thing was that there was few people attending the conference who were speaking neither of the languages, and I was curious if they will get the key message. So during the breaks, they were approaching those sketch notes. It was a political conference, governance, and so on. And they were trying to guess what was the most important. And you know what? Their brains nailed it. They knew exactly what was the most important things, the layers, the colors. They just exactly knew how to sound smart and how to discuss about those subjects. So then I realized that actually the pictures are universal language, that the icons are far beyond language barriers. And here's something for those of you who actually happen to like scientific facts and figures. Professor Uri Hassan from Princeton University, a few years ago, proven by using fMRI methods, you know, the wave of the brains and so on, right? This is a science, true science. So he proved that our mind, our brains can actually tune up. I mean, they can couple. He called it coupling. And according to the professor, when the speaker tells a story, right? And even better if he draws it, his mind has got certain activity. Few certain parts of his brain are activated. So the same parts are activated in the brains of the audience. So we can say that the brain of the speaker and the brains of the audience are tuning up, are getting along. If they can get along with a good story or a good picture, icons, right? They can understand each other better. And if they do so, they can communicate more efficiently. So that's the interesting thing, that actually we can use it in our daily life. But how, you may ask? Is it for me? Well, you can use it, for instance, in building relations. A few years ago, I started uploading some short videos, tutorials about how to draw a cat from 3 circles or how to draw a dog if you are not so talented. And, I did it because I wanted to prove that sketchnoting is a really simple way of helping your brains to remember. And you don't have to be skilled to use sketchnoting. But it appears that those videos were watched by the whole families. And what's more, those families just made a family ritual from drawing. But the drawing was just an excuse, They finally found a time to spend, to share opinion, to laugh, to draw, to finally talk with each other. So actually, it's not about drawing, but it was their brains tune up, they coupling. And I even received from few phone calls when people were saying that this family ritual saved them, because even nowadays, so many families are telling apart. They are separated, right? So this was the sketching, the drawing was just an excuse to be together again. We are talking about business, about motivation, innovation, and relations, right? But there's one more perspective I'd like to share with you, an educational one. Here's Adrienne. I met her 2 years ago, I guess, and she's a German teacher. That's the fact. German, unfortunately, it's not the most beloved language in our country, is it, right? But she was really determined to use sketchnotes in her school, just to teach German using visual thinking methods. And let's say it straight, her lines were far from being straight. But she did it. She did every exam as a sketchnote, every test, every homework she gave to the students was just easy pictures and keywords. And I have to tell you that I have never seen kids being so inspired. I have never seen kids who were waiting with such an eager for a test, who were taking tests with such an anticipation. And the better grades were just a side effect of the huge change Adrienne makes in her students' lives, actually. Because it was not about just teaching. They started to enroll for new courses. They started to win a competition. They even won. The whole class won an international competition in German language after using sketchnotes. They didn't have got any normal notebooks. They only have got their files. And proudly, from every lesson, they did a sketchnote. From German. So then this change was also noticed by their parents, because finally those kids believed that they can, that they are able to do something by themselves, that they change attitude. And this change was also noticed by their parents. So I told you about what makes our brain happy, right? What's there's simplicity, some simple icons that says playing with connotation, riddles, and so on, and then building relationships. Did you dare to draw your first line? Who of you did actually a sketch note from my talk? Can you raise them up, the sketch notes? Perfect. I've got some sweets for you guys. I'd love to take a look in the break, okay? See? It's not so... those are skits works. Adrian is not the only one. I've got a lot of wonderful teachers in Poland who are ready to use Sketchnote as their teaching style, in their teaching style. And like, it wasn't so easy to draw it, right? Do you have got at least one icon?
I have many.
That counts. You impress me right now. Truly. You will get a sweet. So, my message for you, it's not only to dare to draw a first line, because I realize it's not so easy, especially here in Poland. But now you know at least what to do, what you can do. Because drawing alive is not so difficult. Just try it. Just improve your life with one line at a time. And you decide which one. Definitely. Thank you.